Tori, what, just kind of in a nutshell, what's the
Mhm.
CBO saying about the effect of immigration?
Well, I think that the head scratcher for many economists in this post-COVID economy is how come, with the Federal Reserve raising interest rates like crazy, how come the US economy has not entered into a recession? And CBO took a look at this and they said, hey, one big factor here is this immigration, this massive immigration that's happening at the southern border. And so in this recent report, they took a peek at it. And what they're saying is that in a normal average year, we get about 200,000 what they call other foreign nationals enter the United States. So what category of immigration are we talking about here? What are other foreign nationals? Well, it's three categories of people. It's people who enter the US illegally and have not obtained permanent legal status. It's people who are allowed to enter the country lawfully through the use of parole authority and who may be awaiting immigration proceedings in an immigration court. And third, it can be people who were previously here in the United States legally under a temporary visa status, for example, but then have just overstayed their visa. So their visa is expired and they're here illegally. So CBO says in a normal year, we get about 200,000 of those other foreign nationals here in the US. So that would be about 1 million every 5 years. But because of the surge at the border over the last few years, CBO predicts that that number will be about 8.7 million persons larger than expected over the 2021-2026 period. And they say, hey, this surge in immigration is having an effect on the federal budget. It's having an effect on the economy, obviously. And because of its effect on the economy, it's having an effect on the budget. What effect? Well, they took a peek and they said federal revenues are going to be about $1.2 trillion higher over the budget window, so 2025 to 2034, largely because of the income taxes and the payroll taxes that are paid by those immigrants that are legally allowed to work here. Mandatory outlays will be about $300 billion higher, so 1.2 trillion higher in revenues, 300 billion higher in outlays due to expenditures on income support and health programs that some immigrants would qualify for, things like the Obamacare premium tax credit, the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit, Medicaid, the children's health insurance program, et cetera. And they also say, CB also says that the impact on discretionary spending is uncertain because that's under the purview of Congress every year, and we don't know what Congress is going to do in any given year with discretionary spending. So when you tie this all up in a nice little bow, at the federal level, according to CBO, immigration is a net positive to the budget. It generates more revenues than it does costs, and therefore it helps to reduce the deficit. But I also think it's interesting to point out that while at the federal level, immigration is a net positive to the budget, research also shows that at the state and local level, immigration largely is a net coster. Costs, mainly due to education and healthcare at the state and local level, are exceeded by revenues, whatever state income tax or sales tax may be generated from these other foreign nationals. So, this is obviously a discussion that we need to have at all levels of government. But I think it's very interesting to point out that from the federal budget side, immigration is a net budget positive.